We learn about age of Guptas. We learn about, just like in every sub chapter, we learn about sources. You have the Fahim, the Allahabad pillar, you kings like Samudragupta, Chandragupta, Vikramaditya. You study about education in the age of Guptas. You study about science in the age of Guptas. You study about culture in the age of Guptas. 7 main headings from sources, kings to contributions in the different fields. Let's begin with the first one. Name a literary source. Name a literature source. Name a literature source which gives information about the age of Guptas. Fahim's visit to India. Fahim came to India. Fahim's visit. Archaeological sources, Allahabad pillar inscription. Please mark, let's begin with the first one, very short. Allahabad pillar inscription, today also there. As the name suggests, it is in Allahabad. It speaks about the character and military achievements of the ruler called as Samudragupta. You can see the photo of the Allahabad pillar which is there today. Thank you, Riley. Please sit straight. Allahabad pillar was composed by Harisena, the court poet of Samudragupta. Allahabad pillar is also known as Prayaga Prashasti. Prayaga Prashasti. Basically, Prashasti means in praise of. So it is praising Samudragupta. The fact that this Allahabad pillar was composed by Harisena, he was the court poet. The fact that it was composed by Harisena, he was the court poet. And this Allahabad pillar remained for so many years. It is there today also, tells us that there was an age of the Guptas which came. Sangam age, you studied which part of India? South India yesterday. Today, age of Gupta, North India again. They tell you that after Mauryan Empire, after some years, look here, after Mauryans, many kings came after Mauryans. Many small kings came after Mauryans. But then came an age of the Guptas, which dominated North India for a good amount of time, just like the Mauryans did. And the Prayaga Prashasti, that is the Allahabad pillar, which is there today also, speaks about Samudragupta's wins, his character, his fights, and that's why we can draw a map by saying, okay, that after Mauryans there was a gap, and after the gap there came a rule of the Guptas which conquered the entire North India. Prayag Prashasti gives us source about that. It was written in praise of Samudragupta. Allahabad pillar is written in praise of Samudragupta. It speaks about the list of the kings and the tribal republics that were defeated by Samudragupta. It also tells you, it not only tells you that who he defeated, but because he defeated someone, because he defeated a number of kings, because he defeated a number of tribes, we come to know that these tribes existed also. Because in the Allahabad pillar it's written Samudragupta defeated someone, XYZ. And then we come to know in India, okay, that these guys XYZ was also there who lost to Samudragupta. Otherwise, we would have never known that there were tribes and kings called as XYZ who they lost to, because Samudragupta defeated them, Samudragupta put them on the map. It indicates the political geography of India, naming the different kings and people which were populating the first half of the 4th century AD at that time, because Samudragupta defeated them, because their name came on the Allahabad pillar. That's when we realized that so and so kingdoms existed also. Otherwise, we have very limited information of such kingdoms ever being there in India. Yeah, but why would you want to? But there are other proofs of it. It's not only the pillar. In your syllabus, you're just learning about one source. There were many other sources which give us information that this information is true. Accounts of Fahid. Obviously, as time says, obviously we don't have a picture of Fahid. But this is what Fahid did. Fahid was a Chinese pilgrim who visited India during the reign of Chandragupta I. Do you remember Mauryan Empire also? Someone had come. Very good. Megasthenes was sent by Seleucus. Seleucus was one of the generals of the Alexander the Great. Perfect. So Seleucus sent Megasthenes. Megasthenes came to India during Chandragupta Maurya's empire. Speaks about all that. Here we have one more Chinese pilgrim called as Pahin in India during the reign of Chandragupta. Let's see what it finds. Writing tell us. Please mark very important. Finds writing also give us important information with respect to accounts of fine also give us important information with respect to the age of Guptas. What did Fahim's writing tell us? These are the different questions which have come in your school exams also and will come in the test also. It says people were wealthy, they led simple lives. However, they followed the Buddhist code of conduct. Confirm? Yeah. Three religions were there: Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Buddhism, and Jainism. Four of them were the main religions which were followed this time in India. Vaishnavism, Shaivism are types of Hindus. You all both please pay attention. This is going to get over very quickly. And after this, you just have to write the test off. So please keep your phone away. Or what? I have to finish this chapter. The next class would be test from the first chapter. Yes. Yes. You will receive the message. The penal code of conduct at that time was very mild. I will. Next one, please pay attention. Riley, please pay attention. Right, pay attention. From the last 20 minutes, you're looking very disturbed, sleepy, and so on. Do you have a pencil? Give him a pencil. It speaks about Hindu gods and goddesses who were worshipped during that time. Hindu gods and goddesses are seen on coins, sculptures, and paintings. So they say now we follow Hindu gods and goddesses. Although Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Jainism, Buddhism is also there. Vaishnavism and Shaivism are part of Hinduism. But Jainism, Buddhism is also there. But on the coins and god and goddess ka photos, we are following Hindu gods and goddesses. They speak about city called as Magda. Please write city. Where was Magda you studied? Magda, very good. Magda was the empire where Chandragupta Maurya started. So the city is yet there. Huh? Kingdom is gone. Mauryans have declined, but the city ka name remained the same. Now the city is renamed. Certain cities are renamed, just like yeah, Birmingham. Perfect. So like that, Baghdad is yet basically the capital from the. I'm talking about Mauryan to age of Guptas. Empire of Mauryans are gone, but age of Guptas में city is yet the same. People follow the name today also, right? Alright. Rename, develop. People live there. City, yes, yes. Baghdad was a prosperous city or a country with wealthy population. Pataliputra was the capital city of Magda was Pataliputra. Magda was the state, Pataliputra the city. Had developed numerous charitable institutions, including a hospital given by its citizens also. So Pataliputra mein citizens are doing charity also. Understand they are starting hospitals for themselves also. Obviously the king will support them, but they are also contributing. From the visits of Fahim, which cities did Fahim visit? Number them down, please. He went to Madura. Mathura is yet there, right? No name change. Same city name there. Kannauj, Kapalivastu, Kushinagar, Vaishali, Pataliputra, Kashi. Kashi is there today also. And Rajagriha. These are the 8 cities which Fahim came, visited, made notes about. Hence his book tells us so much about these cities and its presence. Yeah. The golden age of Guptas, you'll receive the recording by Tuesday. Please mark, very important, during this phase we call golden age of Guptas. There's a wire down, take care of. Give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes. The golden age of Guptas is, the period of Guptas is called as the golden age. After Christ. That's how it's termed as. The Gupta period is known as the golden age of Indian culture. Why? Because at this time the following things happened. Pay attention, please. The following things happened in India during this time. High level of civilization and culture came in. Revival of Hinduism happened. Creativity grew, education grew, literature grew, art grew, architecture grew, science grew. Basically, development in all these subjects happened. It went beyond India's frontiers. Hence, we call it the classical age or the golden age of Indian history. These were all the factors which we call the Gupta period as the golden age, because these were all these activities they did during this phase, not only in India but outside India. Let's see, we study about literature, culture, education, and science. Introducing you to literature, how did literature change over the years? Important phase of his phase in history of Sanskrit literature. Please underline the word Sanskrit. Which language gets introduced? Sanskrit. It is an important phase in the Indian history of Sanskrit literature. Sanskrit, it replaced the old language of Prakrit. It replaced the old language of Prakrit. Obviously, now Sanskrit, as time is going ahead, is also becoming ancient. Everybody doesn't learn Sanskrit. So at that time, Sanskrit replaced Prakrit. Sanskrit will be now maintaining, Sanskrit maintained supreme position in India for thousands of years. Now it is getting outdated. But before Sanskrit, yes, supreme position of India. At that time, Sanskrit was the main language everywhere. Sanskrit was the official language for administration. Official documents were mentioned in Sanskrit, as well as inscriptions were mentioned in Sanskrit. Epics were mentioned in Sanskrit. Poetry was mentioned in Sanskrit. Drama, literature, prose, religious texts, as well as secular literature. Everything existed in Sanskrit side by side. Prakrit was getting out, Sanskrit was coming in. Now, as after thousands of years, Sanskrit, after in fact not thousand, after 2000 of years, Sanskrit is going out and other languages are coming in. Our original text, these original texts are today also in the main book is in Sanskrit. Obviously, now you have language translations available all over the world. Yep. Yeah, come ahead if you want. Name the following. Name the following. The famous writers of that time include Kalidasa, Sudraka, Bhasa, Harisena, who was the court poet, Dandin, Subandhu, and Bharavi. Kalidasa was the most famous of that time. These are all authors. If you take literature as a mastery, you study about their works. Kalidasa is the great poet and playwright. Vincent Smith compared the golden age of India period of writing to the Elizabethan period in the history of England. Shakespeare. So, जो England में basically they are comparing that whatever happened during the Elizabethan period in England, the same thing has happened in India, that is during the Kalidasa's writings. Kalidasa's next page, please keep marking. What does Kalidasa speak about in his writings? He speaks about the works just like Shakespeare, love, nature, beauty. It also gives us information about government, society, religion, as well as major languages of the world. Please mark Kalidasa's very famous poetic works. Name the following as well as short. They want you to learn the works of Kalidasa at least for 5 to 6 marks. Compulsory, at least. Kalidasa's works were Ritu Sambara. You'll have to learn the spellings as well. Raghu Vamsha, Megha Duta, and Kumara Sambara. Can you please, both of you, keep your phones ahead? Just keep your phones ahead. MCQ, name the following or explanation. Name the following for the writing works. The three dramatic works of Kalidasa were Vikramo Vamshyam, Vikramo Vashyam, Malvikanam Nimitram, and Abhijana Shakuntala. Name the following very important short. In all your school exams, this is where you can lose your marks. They have asked your spellings as well as explanations. Let's elaborate on the works of Kalidasa. Vikramo Vamshyam, Malvikam Nimitram, and Abhijana Shakuntalam. Abhijana Shakuntalam is a dramatic work. It narrates the love story of King Dushanta and Shakuntala. It's a love story, whose son Bharat later became the ruler of India. Meghaduta, the cloud messenger, is equally an outstanding poetic work. Malvikanam Nimitram is about Chandragupta Vikramaditya. It is written to commemorate the marriage of his daughter Prabhavati with Rudrasena. So they are written in the praise of their king. They are written in the praise of their daughters of the king. All the works are being translated into major languages. After class, please. Thodi der ruk ja, 5 minutes. Last few answers as it is. So we'll do half the chapter till Aryabhatta. Let's no, half the chapter. That is still Aryabhatta. Culture. What was the age of Gupta's culture? It speaks about the succession of a versatile and mighty rulers. Each ruler of Gupta age was greater than the previous one. That's why we have the entire Gupta age. They had political stability there. They had trade and commerce flourishing. Please bracket those. And because they had political stability, trade and commerce flourishing, people could take up different activities also which they like. Please keep your hand to yourself, both of you. Like you could do arts, crafts, and literature. All. Can you mark? They are saying rulers were versatile, greater. One ruler was greater than the previous one, resulting in the empire flourishing. Economy was flourishing. Hence, people could take up other crafts, arts, and literature works also. Because there was no poverty in the empire, which allows you to do a lot of other activities. We learn about the first temple, Vishnu temple at Devgarh. Please remark, very important, as well as picture study or identification. Picture identification. This temple is located at Deogarh, which is approximately 125 kilometers from Jhansi in North India, UP. It speaks about God Vishnu. Characteristics of this temple. Very important answer. More than location, they may ask you the characteristics. This temple is called as the Dasha Avtara temple. Dasha means 10. Huh? So it speaks about the 10 births or 10 rebirths of the Lord Vishnu, if I'm not wrong. It was the first North India temple to have a tower or a shikara. It was the first North Indian temple to have a tower ever. Although the tower is now in disappeared, it broke down as it time passed. But this is the tower ka photo. So part of the tower, part of the tower is broken down. This is the original photo if they show you Vishnu temple at Deogarh. This is the temple which it looks. This is one of the first temples as per near Jhansi in UP, 125 kilometers away. Yes, this is the original photo which people have said that the. Can you see the area in white? Please see the area in white depicts the original tower which was there. Now, obviously, that tower has gone. So it is. No, this was the first temple to get a tower. After this, all temples followed the same tower strategy. Or in the white area. All temples in India today also have tower structure, or in other words, tower architecture. This was the first temple to have a tower architecture. That's why you're studying about. It's Vishnu temple, Lord Vishnu goddess. It is made out of stone and bricks. It has 4 stairways and a platform across the temple. Paintings of Ramayana are found in the paintings and countless Ramayana and countless other paintings and carvings are found here. It is dedicated to Lord Vishnu, the God of preservation. This was made during the Gupta age, 1 to 4 AD. After 180. After the first century. Last phase, please look your education. Which literature, which subjects grew in education? Literature, science, maths, astronomy, astrology, medicine. Name some learning centers. These are named the following. These are also named the following. Name some famous learning centers of North India. Today also these cities are very famous for education. Pataliputra, Vaishali, Ujjain, Ayodhya, and Nasik. It's what's it called? Yeah. Okay, thank you for your explanation. Let's go. Last page, please pay attention. The teachers were at that time Brahmins. They were all just like you as you studied about Chanakya and all. They were all Brahmins. They were also called as Acharyas or Upadhyayas. Some of them gave them the title of Bhattas also. These were the different names of the teachers at that time. The education system at that time used to work from grants and support, that is donations. At that time, the education system used to work from grants and supports of villagers called as the agrahas. Basically, कोई donation देके जाएगा तो your system will work. People used to donate at that time. The Gupta rulers and charities also made given by the generous public made the system work of education. Students of that time learned 14 sections of science, which was basically 14 subjects you learned, 4 Vedas, 6 Vedankas, Puranas, Mimamsa, Nyaya, Dharma, Mahabharata, Vyakarna. At that time, there was Buddhist system of education also, if you wanted. The Buddhist system of education made students enroll for 10 years. Learning used to begin orally, later it was nothing he's doing. He's doing nothing. 10 years, I'm seeing. 10 years, Buddhist system of education, 10 years. It began orally, later it shifted to writing of text. Students from countries like China and Southeast Asia came. And as mentioned before, this system used to work on grants given by the king, the rich mercantile class, and that's why scholars came from far and wide, just like Fahim. Finishing the last part, then we'll stop. That is 2 examples of the education universities which were there at that time, called as Takshila and Nalanda. Why are we learning about the Takshila University? It was one of the first few centers in the world which offered higher education. It gave you subjects like astronomy, surgery, astrology, law, archery, accountancy, commerce. The famous teacher Chanakya also taught here in the Mauryan period. So this university was there since Mauryans. Mauryan Empire chala gaya, university was yet there. The second one, which was more bigger and which came later but more bigger, was the Nalanda. Takshila was one of the first centers of the world. Nalanda came during Gupta age, but Nalanda was far bigger than Takshila. Nalanda, currently located in Bihar, the place. It was set up, please mark, by Sakra Aditya in the 5th century. During the king Kumar Gupta one. So Takshila was there from Mauryans, that was from BC. Takshila was there from BC. Nalanda came in 5th century AD. After last dance you tell us. You do share with me, I want to know. There were 8 colleges built by different patrons. Nalanda was a group of 8 colleges. One example, please write this is one of the examples out of 8. Example 1 out of 8. Huh? Luckily, you just have one example out of the 8. It had 8 colleges in one university. One example they have given you includes Balaputra Deva, king of Samudra, who had given one of the 8 patrons. Yes. So one of the 8 messages they have given you one example of Balaputra Deva, king of Samudra, gave one of these. According to Yusang, the whole university was enclosed by a brick wall at that time. Just like today, how your buildings are enclosed. Last answer with respect to Nalanda. Characteristics or features, please mark very, very important. The 3 R's, please mark R, R, R. Ratna Sagar, Ratnodhadi, and Ratna Ranjak. These were the 3 great libraries of the Nalanda. They must be renamed after someone, but this speaks about the 3 great libraries which have information, they say, about everything of that time. They might have had information of time travel also. Unfortunately, this university did not survive, so we lost a lot of valuable source of information, and this put us many years behind. These had everything. These guys, they said had everything knowledge penned down, but at that time the problem was that the copies were not enough. When the university went down, everything went down. Here, there were thousands of 10,000 students and teachers at that time in this university. At that time in this university, 10,000 students and teachers in total. Students came, everybody came from different parts of the world to study here. Korea, Mongolia, Japan, China, Tibet, Ceylon, every place of parts of the world they came to study. It's a country. Please mark the subjects which you studied. The 4 Vedas, logic, grammar, medicine, Sankhya, yoga, Nyaya, and many more. Before getting admission, there used to be an examination which used to be occurred, and only 20% people used to pass this examination, the rest used to get rejected. So just imagine after 20% the figure reached 10,000. That means how many people used to apply to reach here? 8 times more, 5 times more. Yes, it was an final part for the day. The Nalanda was a beacon of light up to 12th century. That was approximately for 5th to 12 is up to 7 years. 7 centuries up to 700 years. It was destroyed by Muhammad bin Bakhtiar Khilji, who was a general of Muhammad Ghori. Today, only the remains of the great university there. I'll give you some more information about the university.